Hello everyone, my name is Amanda R.N. Rockwell. I write, read, and review vampire fiction. Today is going to be more of an informal video. I actually did not write a script up for this one, and that's because today I wanted to have a bit of fun. Fun with a book haul video, basically. A few months ago, I cleaned out my bookshelf of all the stuff I no longer wanted and went and donated them. And this video is going to be all 10 books that I have acquired since. So consider this a preview of what might come to the channel over in the next year and a half. I acquired 13 books since then, but this video today is only going to show 10 of them because 3 of them I already reviewed for you guys, so there's no point in showing those off. Don't expect these book haul videos to happen too often. For those of you who don't know, buying books is very expensive in Canada. A single book in Canada versus US can be anything from $1 more to like $10, $12 more, depending on the book you're talking about. Right, let's get started. For the first book, I'm going to address the elephant in the room. That is Twilight by Stephanie Meyer. I have only seen 3 of the 5 movies? Is there 5 movies? I think there's 5 movies. No, I have not read any of the books prior to this point. My sister has almost just about all the books in hardcover format, and I chose to buy my own. Hopefully it was worth the money. I've heard lots of mixed things about Twilight. There are people who absolutely love it. There are people who absolutely hate it. And I'm not really going to focus on that. I'm just going to read it and enjoy it for what it's worth. But I wouldn't expect this book too soon if I were you. I've got a plan set up for the books I'm going to be reading and reviewing on this channel, and Twilight is not going to be one of them for, at the very earliest, late 2020 or early 2021. So here we have A Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. Yes, I said her name right. Okay. I wasn't sure if I would. This is the first book in the All Souls trilogy. I thought the book cover was familiar. I saw an ad on social media about a TV series adaptation or something. So that's where I found out about it originally, but I didn't actually remember that when I picked the book up. It's different from the other books on this list in that it's not a book that's like totally vampire focused. It happens to have a vampire as a prominent character in the book, which is close enough. I mean, that's basically the requirement, right? It's like it has to be either centered around vampires or have a prominent character, or else no point. This book may or may not surprise you, depending on whether you're familiar with the book already or familiar with the movie first, and it is I Am Legend by Richard Matheson. I've only seen promos for the film myself. My husband saw the movie, and according to him, there were no vampires in it. I remember in the promos I never saw vampires in it. So it was definitely a surprise to me when I found out that it was a vampire novel, but I mean, I'm thrilled. Looks like it'll be a fun read, and looks like it'll be an easy read too. It's not a very thick book at all, so yay! Next we have The Strain by Guillermo del Toro and Chuck Hogan. It is the first book in the Strain trilogy. I'm not too familiar with the book or the series it's based on, but according to the blurb at the back, there is a virus that starts turning people into vampires. Kind of like the whole I Am Legend thing, except instead of you getting it brought into the book like after the whole infection is wiped out the world or the country or whatever, it's you're seeing it go down. I think that's what it is. I'm not sure. In any case, that book is generally well received, and like a lot of the books that I'm showing you, it's been on a lot of book lists for a vampire novel to read that you have to read. So hopefully it lives up to the hype that people give it. This one is an interesting one. Let Me In by John Ajvide Lindqvist. I hope I pronounced that right. It's also known under its original, the translation of its original Swedish title, Let the Right One In. There's been a couple movies based on the book. There was a Swedish film under the Swedish name, and then there's the American movie based off the Swedish movie based off the book. An adaptation of an adaptation. Okay. Anyways, it's another one of those must-read vampire novels, apparently, so we'll see. Next we have The Historian by Elizabeth Kostova. This one was the debut novel from this author, I believe? Yeah, it was the debut novel by this author, which is quite impressive, all things considered. Debuts don't normally do as well as apparently this one did. Out of all the books I have acquired, minus the young adult ones, this is the only adult novel in this that it wasn't in the horror section. It was in the regular, A to Z by author surname section. And I'm not sure if that's because people consider it to be historical fiction or not. I've heard mixed things. It's considered historical fiction, but it's not really historical fiction or something like that. But in any case, it's apparently a good read, so we'll see. This one, Immortal with a Kiss by Jacqueline Lepore, or Lepore, something like that. This one, I did not know this book existed prior to seeing it on the bookshelf at the store, and it looks interesting. The blurb at the back is what got me. If I based it on the cover alone, I wouldn't have picked it up, because it looks like to me anyways, what would be a typical romance cover. I have nothing against romance as a subplot, as something on top of something else, but I don't believe it can carry a book by itself, just my personal opinion. When I brought this book home and I looked it up, it is the second book in a duology, actually, and which it actually shows it on the back right here, the first book. I did not realize that, so I've got to get the first book before I dig into this one. Right, next is technically 2 books in one. This is The Vampire Diaries, Volume 1, which comprises the first 2 books in the series, The Awakening and The Struggle. I've never seen the series that was based off of this. Looks interesting, I guess. I'm kind of skeptical about young adult books in a way, because I find, books that talk about school and young romance and stuff a bit boring. Maybe I'm just weird, but it's if it wasn't for the fact it was vampires, I wouldn't have picked it up. I'll be perfectly honest. Hopefully it's worth the read. This next one I saw on the shelf before I started buying vampire fiction in general, and the cover is so simple but so nice. It really grabbed me. This is Marked by a mother-daughter duo, PC and Kristin cast. It is the first book in an 8-book series, not counting the guidebook, and they're so conveniently listed at the back of the book too. Very easy for me to reference. It's great. I mean, look at this. All the books listed at the back, and it's like, I don't even need to look it up. I already know what books to go for. It's great. I love it when they do that. Looks interesting. I saved this one for last, because, of course I did. Blood Communion, A Tale of Prince Lestat by Anne Rice. This is the most recent edition in the Vampire Chronicles series. This one, I believe, this one was published in 2018, and then this paperback edition was published in 2019. I'm in the process currently of reading the Vampire Chronicles from start to finish. I've had all of the original books in the series up to Blood Canticle. I will talk about that more when I actually start reviewing the books in the series. I'm missing the ones that come between this one and Blood Canticle. There's 2 in between, so I'm not in too much of a rush to get my hands on them, because it'll be a while, because there's, oh gosh, there's 15 books total in the series now? Because I believe New Tales of the Vampires is considered part of the Vampire Chronicles now, as it should have been from the beginning, but whatever. In any case, yeah, wonderful. So there you go, all 10 new books for my shelf that you didn't already know prior to this video. I look forward to reading them all, honestly. I'm very happy to expand my horizons, read from new authors, try new experiences with these books. It'll help me become better as a writer. I started the channel with book reviews, but it's not just gonna be book reviews. Like I say at the start of my videos, I don't only read books, I write them too. I don't have any published yet, but I'm working on that. So now that I've done a few reviews to start my channel off, I'm going to be alternating between doing reading and writing related videos. So starting next week, that will be the case. I'll be alternating. There will be a book review like every 2nd or 3rd week or so. And then in between those, there will be books about writing, whether it's like writing vampire books specifically or writing in general. Anything that I learn or research along the way in my journey to publishing my first book is what I'll be sharing with you guys. It's part of the reason why I have the channel in the first place. And with that, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you enjoyed it. All my social media is plugged in the description below if you haven't already checked them out. And thank you for watching. Bye!